Medical Center adds to the list of organs it can transplant, how this changed the life of a patient in the area. Plus, spring is right around the corner, and that means you will start to see more construction crews on the roads. Details on a major project set to start in West Toledo.
And tracking our next chance for rain and thunderstorms, followed by a big cool down to kick off the spring season. I'll have your full forecast in just a few minutes. Kaylee.
Thanks for joining us on WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Kaylee Maritet. Let's take a look at your top stories for this Tuesday night. A Holland man convicted in a hit-and-run crash that killed an 86-year-old woman in central Toledo last year has changed his plea. According to court records, Antonio Lockett withdrew his previous plea of not guilty and pleaded guilty to one count of aggravated vehicular homicide and one count of failure to stop after an accident. He's scheduled to be sentenced next month. 86-year-old Gloria Everett was killed in a parking lot on Monroe Street in October. Well, new today, no charges will be filed against the Michigan State Police troopers who shot and killed a man after that man shot and killed a Hillsdale County deputy. According to the Department of Attorney General, the officers acted in self-defense and defense of fellow officers when they shot 34-year-old Eric Fiddler. Hillsdale County Sheriff's Deputy William Butler was killed in June while conducting a traffic stop in Jonesville. The Attorney General's office says Fiddler murdered Butler before running away. He was then spotted, and a trooper asked Fiddler to show his hands. Instead, Fiddler shot at the trooper, and 6 members of MSB shot back, killing him. A life-changing surgery is now being performed at a hospital in Northwest Ohio. The University of Toledo Medical Center announced it's transplanted a pancreas. Silver Barker talked to officials at the hospital and the patient.
It was during one of Coach Taylor Eisman's basketball games that he'd get a call offering for a new life.
Now I don't have to worry about, giving myself a shot or, what I eat.
That call was for a new kidney and pancreas. At that point, he'd been living with diabetes for more than half of his life, a condition that took a toll on him as a young man.
I was an athlete, played 2 sports in college, and then to kind of go where you couldn't really do anything, that was really hard on me.
And although he couldn't play sports anymore, he stayed involved in other ways. But even that became difficult.
Like in the last year, like at basketball practice, I sat in a chair a lot. I was just worn out.
But now that's all going to change. University of Toledo's health transplant surgeon, Dr. Kunal Yadav, did the operation. He says it's significant because this surgery is the only cure for diabetes.
Cures not just the kidney disease but also diabetes, which is a systemic disease, affects a lot of different organs.
A monumental surgery like this didn't seem possible 13 years ago for UTMC when a botched transplant ended with a healthy kidney in the trash and the living donor transplant program being voluntarily suspended. Dr. Yadav is one of the new additions since then, helping to revive the program.
We have built our kidney transplant program significantly since then. Especially in the last 5 years, our kidney transplant volumes have more than doubled. We do close to 200 transplants every year, which is a huge volume for our program.
A second chance for Eisman to have a real shot at life.
Extremely excited about that, like vacations and just things like that, being able to go to school, go to practice, and come home and then, put some work in with my kids as well.
The Fair Housing Center announced today that it has filed a housing discrimination lawsuit against Carr Apartments in Sylvania. The lawsuit accuses the apartment complex of committing a disability-based discrimination violation by denying the plaintiff's request for a modification due to their disability. According to the Fair Housing Center, the resident uses a wheelchair and their father submitted a modification request to Sylvania Place Apartments, the property manager of the building. They requested that an electric push button be installed at the door so the person could easily access their apartment. They even found a contractor who could get permits and install the button. However, that request was denied. The plaintiffs offered to pay the quoted amount for the work, but that was also denied. According to the Fair Housing Center, the property manager claimed the proposed contractor did not say how the installation would address the latch on the door. We've reached out to the apartment complex for comment and are waiting on a response. The Ohio Department of Health says there are more than 300 cases of measles nationwide. Measles is a highly contagious virus and can be deadly. Health leaders say that prevention is key when it comes to the measles and any other viruses. Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff with the State Health Department says in particular 2024-2025 childhood vaccination rates have dropped.
We have not had a case in Ohio this year, but in late 2022, we had an outbreak which involved 85 cases, all in central Ohio.
The state health department says the virus is so contagious you can get measles just by being in the same room where someone with the virus was recently. This can happen up to 2 hours after the person has left the area. Because of the pandemic, entering a hospital suddenly looked a lot different than it ever had before. Early cases of COVID-19 started coming in, leaving hospitals with no choice but to adapt. The pandemic created many challenges for healthcare systems. Immediately, the rush to get enough personal protective equipment, or PPE, was on. Then healthcare workers started leaving their jobs, forcing hospital systems to hire costly agency staffing.
Now that the time has gone by, reflecting backward, a bit of it's painful, and there are a lot of lessons that we all learned along the way, but it is hard to believe it's been 5 years.
Every night this week, we'll bring you a new story looking back at the pandemic and how it changed the community. You can view the catalog of stories here on WTOL 11+ or our website. John?
And some changes in the weather coming our way as we track our next weather impact and thunderstorm chance. That is likely to roll in late Wednesday evening. During the daytime, it is going to be mild, breezy and dry with showers and a few storms developing after dark. Big story today was the warmth. Our record high today. We didn't quite hit that 76 mark set back in 1903, but temperatures officially did hit that 70-degree mark. It's going to be another mild day for your Wednesday, a breezy setting with southwesterly winds that may occasionally gust to 40 miles per hour, and any storm chances hold off until well after sunset. Temperature-wise, still holding tight around that 70-degree mark across Lucas and Wood counties, dropping to the upper 60s in southern Michigan, and sunshine continues this evening as well as tomorrow ahead of that next cold front. Currently watching an area of low pressure out near Colorado, and this is going to bring us our next storm system. Those showers and storms arrive late Wednesday evening between roughly 8 p.m. and midnight. So the hour-by-hour breakdown, there is going to be a little bit more cloud cover that rolls in tonight. Not quite as much sun tomorrow, but still breezy and dry during the daytime. And ahead of this cold front, we are expecting to see a line of storms develop. There could be some strong gusty winds contained in those storms. Between 8 p.m. and midnight, a line of showers and storms is going to be likely. And overnight, as that cold front sweeps in from the west, a big change in how it feels. In fact, by Thursday, it may be the first day of spring, but that blue you see, that indicates a few wet snowflakes that may mix in with those chilly rain showers. Temperature-wise, it is going to be a significant change in the field. We're already going to be in the 50s tomorrow for the morning bus stop, upper 60s for highs, and as we fast forward into your Thursday, a significant cool down with highs only in the 40s. Winds are also going to be blustery, and a couple gusts to 40 miles an hour will be possible. Next 4 days feature a big cool down for the start of spring with a couple rain and snow showers. Friday does bring us some nicer weather with sunshine and 50s, and into the weekend, the chance for scattered showers developing, and you're going to see quite a few March showers in that forecast. In fact, the long range outlook heading towards late March does feature a cooler weather pattern and frequent spring showers. So tomorrow, the last really mild day ahead of that cool down that kicks off for the first day of spring. I think you're also going to like Friday's forecast with that sunshine. There is the chance for scattered periodic rain both Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, with some typical spring showers ahead towards the latter half of March. Kaylee?
Warmer temps means more road construction is on the way. The city of Toledo has multiple projects set for this year, including a few in West Toledo. Megan Hartnett has the details.
With spring comes the sounds of construction. A sound that will soon be coming to two neighboring roads in West Toledo. Secor Road between Alexis and Lasky will be completely rebuilt, and Lasky Road between Secor and Douglas will be resurfaced. Area business owners are getting ready for what problems this construction may bring.
Talked to some people and they said that it's not going to really bother them and that they'll find us.
Wheelin' on the Rocks has been at its new location on West Lasky for about 10 months and is still working on getting the kitchen open with city inspections.
It's just made it a little bit more difficult. We've been very successful as far as just having the bar open by itself, but I think if we had the kitchen open, it would just push us above and above, like where we need to be.
With construction in the near future and potential lane closures, owner Chrissy Antoine is working to keep a positive attitude.
I mean, if you complain about it, it's not going to change anything anyway. So just, think about how it's going to be after it's done and how nice it is going to be done, and much safer too for people.
Antoine isn't the only one focusing on the good after the construction.
It's only going to make our community, our businesses, that area better. It's going to allow for more foot traffic. It's going to create more opportunities. It's going to bring more people into the area.
Ebony Carter, the director of the Minority Business Assistance Center, says the construction can disrupt operations and cause revenue issues for businesses, but there are resources out there to help.
The city of Toledo, they did publish an article paving the way during this construction time, and that article will have a list of resources that businesses can utilize in order to prepare them for some of the construction.
A representative from the city says they are working out exact start dates with contractors for these projects, but both won't start at the same time. There will, however, be overlap between the two. The goal is to maintain two-way traffic while work is being done. Well, the interest in skilled trades is rising among teens, and some schools are bringing back classes because of it. The average annual cost for tuition and fees at a public four-year college shot up 141% between 2003 and 2023, so a 20-year difference. While studies show higher earnings for college graduates, an industry survey finds more than 80% of those working in construction are making yearly salaries of more than $65,000 a year, and some students say they're just ready to get to work.
My dad just got done paying off his college debt, and that's one thing I don't want to get into. So I just want to start making money.
College, it puts a damper on things for some kids. Like my sister, she's struggling paying for her tuition.
There are some schools like this in Northwest Ohio, including Penta and Four County Career Center. Perrysburg is looking at slashing some $6 million from the budget for next school year. This comes after voters turned down another levy request in November. The board approved some specific cuts last night.
There were a lot of voices that were a part of that process to determine every single cut impacts students, but which would impact students the least.
Despite these measures, Perrysburg schools will still need to use $7.5 million from its cash reserves. Here's a breakdown of some specific cuts. The high school will eliminate positions including band, foreign language, and music department heads. There will also be fewer concerts. Whole Prairie Intermediate will see cuts in gifted teachers and intervention specialists, as well as cuts to band, orchestra, choir, and cheer. Elementary schools are redistricting, resulting in a $500,000 savings through a reduction in bus driver hours and teaching positions. These cuts are set to take effect in August. Well, new tonight, the city of Toledo has a new kid mayor. Mayor Wade Capsicavage announced that 10-year-old Dashiell Hardin is the 2025 kid mayor of Toledo. He also goes by the name Dash. He's a fourth grader at Monac Elementary School and is the first boy to hold the position. Those of the city say he was picked after an impressive interview process and stood out from hundreds of applicants. He's also the fourth kid to serve as kid mayor.
I also want to thank the former kid mayors, Evelyn, Gabby, and Lily, for leading the way. They have done an amazing job, and I am excited to continue the work that they have started. Thank you to the mayor and everyone who supported me. I am ready to get to work.
Well, Hardin will lead the 2025 Kid Council. Those of the city say they will be meeting with city officials, present ideas to improve the community, among several other duties throughout the year. Wildlife officials in Ohio released a rehabilitated bald eagle into Logan County. The ODNR says this eagle was injured in a fight last